Hey guys, welcome to Objective 2. So I kind of wanted to build on what we did for Objective 1. So for Objective 1, I asked you this question. Okay, so if I have x squared equals 100, what will x be? So remember what I'm asking you is, what number or numbers can I put in for x that if I square that number or numbers will give me 100? And a lot of you guys, we talked about how to do it directly, but a lot of you guys just intuitively knew. Intuitively? I'm not sure if that's a word, but we're going to pretend like it is. A lot of you guys just knew, like, oh, what's a number that if I square it, I get 100? And you said, oh, that's 10. But like we talked about or for the last objective, remember another option is the negative of that, right? So we talked about that yesterday for the previous objective. So where I kind of want to build on for this objective is, well, what if it's not just this? What if I add a little bit more stuff to it, like this, or this, right? So what if I add more things to that equation? So that's kind of where we're going to be going today. All right, so here's a problem I would like to give to you guys. So I'm going to have 2p equals 200. So it's not as easy as yesterday, right? I can't just be like, oh, what can I put in? Oh, sorry, this should be p squared. So I can't just be like, oh, what should I put in for p squared to give me 200? Because now I have this. And this is where our regular equation rules come into play, right? Remember, distribute, combine like terms, add or subtract, multiply, divide. So just like we've done before, DCAM, right? Nothing to distribute, no like terms, nothing to add or subtract, but I do need to divide by this too, because remember my goal is I want to get this variable by itself. And the p squared is just hanging out, right? That exponent of 2 is just chilling. If you want, forget that it's there for a second. I mean, it is still there, but pretend like this is our regular linear equations, right? So, well, how do I get this by itself? I do the inverse. Instead of saying 2 times p squared, I'm going to do my inverse of dividing. Okay, cool. Well, 2 divided by 2 is 1, which just leaves me with my p squared. 200 divided by 2 is just 100. Well, and now this turns into a problem just like yesterday, right? Or, sorry, I keep saying yesterday, but for the last objective, depending on when you're doing it. Well, now I want to get this p by itself, so I do my inverse of my exponent of 2, which means I take the square root. Well, now I'm going to get p, which is what I want. And what does that equal? Well, what's the square root of 100? Remember, there are two answers. One is the positive of what I get when I take 100. The other is the negative of what I get when I take the square root of 100. So that means that my p is going to equal the positive of the square root of 100, which is 10, but also the negative of it. It's also a negative 10. And there's my final answer. All right, I want to do one more with you guys. And again, we're just following the same rules that we've always done, right? So here's the next one I want to give you. I'm going to give you 3r, sorry, look at my notes, minus 5. And that's going to equal 43. Sorry, this should be r squared. Sorry, I keep forgetting to put my exponent of 2. Well, remember, just like normal, DCAM, right? Nothing to distribute. I don't see any like terms. But what I want to do is I want to get this r squared by itself. We're going to keep anything that's attached to it until the end. First thing I'm going to do is add or subtract. This is the way I do my inverse. So I'm going to add 5 to both sides. So cool, 3r squared is coming down. That goes to 0, what I want. And this is going to give me 48. Just like normal, right? Nothing new here. And just like normal, I want to separate this 3 and the r squared. And remember, right now it's saying 3 times r squared. So remember my inverse is I'm going to divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3. So I'm going to get r squared over here. And then this is going to give me 16. And again, now it turns back into my problem like for the last objective, sorry. So I want to take the square root because I need to get rid of this exponent of 2. So I'm doing my inverse. remember when I take my square root, there are two answers. One is the positive of the square root of 16, and one is the negative of the square root of 16. So I'm like, hey, cool, the positive of the square root of 16 is positive 4, but then the negative of the square root of 16 is 4. Negative 4, sorry. So I want you to really think about what this is saying. It's saying I could take positive 4, put it in for r, simplify this side, and I'll get 43. Or I could put the negative 4 in here for r, simplify, and I'll get the same thing at 43. So remember, there's two different numbers I could use to plug in to help me make sure that I'm getting that same side to balance my equation. Okay, if you feel comfortable with this, go on to the independent practice. If not, I want to give you a U try. So if you feel comfortable, stop this video, go on, and if not, stick around with me. I've got one more. Okay, so here is my next one. Okay, so I want you to try this as a U try. Please pause this video and see if you can work this on your own. Okay, so let's go through this together. Remember, just like normal, DCAM, nothing to distribute, no like terms, but I want to get this exponent, or sorry, not the exponent, the variable by itself, right, and anything attached to it. So first thing I'm going to do is subtract this 3 away. So 2k squared is coming down, just hanging out. That's going to 0, which is what I want. Over here, I'm going to get 50. Okay, keep solving like normal. Remember, this is what I want to isolate. Right now it's saying 2k, or 2 times k squared. Remember, the opposite of multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide by 2, just like I normally would. K squared is coming down. 50 divided by 2 is 25. And again, this turns into our last objective problem. Now to get rid of this exponent of 2, I'm going to take my square root of both sides. So over here, that's going to be the inverse operation, so it's going to be just k. Over here, remember there's two answers. One is the positive of the square root of 25, and the other is the negative of the square root of 25. So please don't forget, when you put that square root on there and you're canceling out because we did the inverse, you are now separating things into two different parts. One is the positive, one is the negative. Please don't forget that. All right, so let's finish this up. So I have the positive square root of 25 is 5. Over here, I have the negative of the square root of 25, which is negative 5. And that's it. All right, you guys, I hope this makes sense. If not, please join my office hours. And I love you guys. Bye-bye.